Hello there and welcome to this episode of Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Qualities Ford dealers. Also, Buddy's Bar and Grill right here in Hammond is our home once again here in 2015. We're very excited to be here once again. I'm Alan Waddell and joined as always by the head baseball coach of your Southeastern Lions, Coach Matt Reiser. Coach, it's been a year since we've been together, or not quite a year, but the last time we saw you, you were playing in an NCAA regional. You were coming off of a conference tournament championship, a very exciting season in 2014, and we're looking for another exciting one here in 2015.
Yeah, you know, it's glad to be back in the springtime. Opening day is always exciting, and to get back out there and get back after it after 8 months of hard work with the recruiting trail and obviously fall baseball, spring practice, it was much anticipated and much needed to get back out.
Coach, the season has already begun. You've already started out the year with a 3-game sweep over Louisiana Tech. Lions are already 3-0 on the year. We haven't had a chance to really preview your club to give our fans a look at what they're going to see all year long. Kind of got just kind of a baptism by fire there, just threw them at it because we haven't had a chance to introduce a lot of these guys. But one thing about your program, it has been so consistent, one of the most winning programs here at Southeastern in the Southland Conference. You were hit a little bit by the Major League Draft. You had some guys that were, some underclassmen that were taken, which is always exciting for those guys, a chance to continue their career in professional baseball. But you have some new faces and a lot of guys that are back here in 2015 as well.
Yeah, you know, I mean, when you have success, it's going to happen. Guys are going to end up, getting drafted, and that's the success we want because those guys are getting that type of attention. Obviously, it helps on the recruiting trail. And Coach Latham and Coach Zulli both did a fantastic job going out and getting a new crew. We had 20 new members we brought in to replace the draft guys and the seniors we lost. So, but I tell you what, they did a fantastic job of finding the right kids. We got a very mature crew, even though it's a little bit younger team. They definitely found the right type of guys.
You talked about your coaching staff a little bit right there. Coach Zulli also moved on to the professional ranks as he is now a scout for the Colorado Rockies. Barrett Morgan, who was with you a year ago, is now the head coach at St. Thomas Aquinas. You bring back Daniel Latham, and tell us about your other guys that are on your staff this year.
Yeah, you know, this summer we lost Coach Morgan to a high school job that he couldn't turn down. It was his alma mater that we knew was something coming down the chute a little bit. So we were fortunate enough to hire Andrew Gibson in his spot this summer, who would plug in right away and kind of the same mentality and the same mold. Who did a fantastic job. And the thing with hiring him this summer is I had to make sure I hired a guy to be ready to move up full time because we know with a young staff and success, it happens that guys get jobs mid-year, and I wanted somebody to be able to get in that situation as quick as possible. So we're fortunate enough to have Andrew. We lost Coach Zulli, like you said, over the break to the Colorado Rockies. Again, another move for him and his family that helped him out. I wish him the best because the amount of work he put in for us, we'll always be very appreciative to him. So we were able to bump Andrew Gibson up in that recruiting coordinator spot and just hired a new coach, Brockman Fozen, who joins us with 6 years of previous experience in college baseball. Actually, an older gentleman who has been on the field crew with Atlanta Braves and kind of been around the game of baseball for a long time. So
I know you're very excited about that as well. And Matt, one thing when you look at this team, some key contributors from a year ago are not available this year for 2015, but the culture that Southeastern baseball has bred here, just you expect to go out there and win, and we saw that this past weekend, as expectations are just as high as ever.
Yeah, we had a couple key injuries, but any ball club has injuries, and that's the biggest thing for us. I think that's the part we look at. We have depth this year, and we always think we have depth at the beginning of the year, but also we had to find out more true to this year than any other. We're losing Jameson Fisher, losing Sam, and that type of leadership, but like again that we said, it's not about the guys individually, it's about the team and the atmosphere and the environment that they're in, and it's been a building and winning program for years, and we stay so consistent because we get the same type of guys.
Right. And
guys have done a good job maturing and stepping into roles and taking the responsibility on their shoulders.
Well, a year ago we saw Southeastern take on Louisiana Tech to open up the 2014 season. Those games were in Ruston. This year they came back down here to Hammond as they took on the Lions in a 3-game series. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the highlights from that matchup as Southeastern took on Louisiana Tech on opening weekend right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill. Your eyesight is so important, and when it comes to your eye care, let the friendly staff at the Bond Roten Eye Clinic care for you. Doctors Hunter Bond and Chris Roten, along with their staff of trained doctors, are committed to providing every patient with quality care. The Bond Roten Eye Clinic has the latest medical technology and eye care to help you, the patient. With over 14 years of experience, the Bond Roten Eye Clinic has 3 locations to serve you with offices in Denham Springs, Hammond, and Amite. So if it's a checkup, glasses, or LASIK surgery, you need to visit the Bond Rodent Eye Clinic. For more information on the clinic, please visit bondrodenteyeClinic.com.
Lions Baseball is supported by Louisiana's First Choice Auto Auction, located in SLU's hometown, Hammond, Louisiana. Louisiana's First Choice Auto Auction is a dealer-only auction.
For more information on Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction or their upcoming charity golf tournament, please visit www.lafcaa.com or visit Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and also Buddy's Bar and Grill right here in Hammond. It was opening weekend at the Pat as the Lions welcome in Louisiana Tech. Let's check out the Friday night highlights. All right, here we go. A beautiful evening for baseball, opening night. As coach, kind of a weird start to the season. First pitch of the season, they actually hit a home run and go up 1-0, so you fall behind early. But Tate Ciano bounces back.
Yeah, you know, first pitch of the year, usually a ball or strike. They ended up starting off 2015 with a home run, but, you know, the competitive Tate goes right back to it, settles in, and gets us to the bottom half of the inning.
And Midyet comes up and hits one out for your club. And, Coach, is this something maybe we're seeing the new balls this year already take place here on the field, as you got 2 home runs in the first 2 innings?
Yeah, you know, baseball was going to play a little bit different. I thought their home run might have been the new baseball. Midyet was kind of anything you can do, I can do better. It went double-decker on us.
And here's a little soft contact. Kenner Menard makes the play as settled down early and then turned into, after those home runs in the first inning, a little pitcher's duel at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it did. Both guys kind of settled in, you know, after the early excitement for both teams. Both pitchers kind of got back in their groove a little bit. You see Chris Eads there, JUCO transfer from Delgado, who we're going to expect a lot out of. Hits the knockback up the middle, but their guy on Friday night, Maton, was pretty daggone good. Was actually better this year than what I thought he was last year.
There's a nice double play. Soft contact, and in the middle you had Brooks Morris and Kenner Menard. Here's a pickoff play at first base.
And Brooks does a good job of handling a bad throw there and getting the out. Tate does a good job with his move, and we get in the bottom of the 4th here, try to get a little something going.
Hoffman thought that ball was off the plate, doesn't get the call, strikeout.
Unfortunately, I think I agreed with him on it.
Another soft contact, Tate continuing to pound the zone.
Yeah, and then they finally found a hole here. You know, they, again, Tate did a good job of kind of holding guys there. You know, they found a way to get a couple guys on base there, a couple walks, and then you see the HPPs here. And this is something that they're known for. You know, a very similar opponent. What we do, we don't want to move our feet. They didn't move theirs either. Guy takes one there, he brings back the box, does a good job of getting a big knock. And actually Tate controlled the damage. He had still the bases loaded, 1 out, and ends up getting out of the inning and only giving up 3, and it could have got a lot worse. That was huge for us later in the game.
Your offense will do a nice job of responding. There you are running the bases there. Ryan Byers with a stolen base.
Nice little base hit there by Menard, and finally gives us a chance to get a little something going. You know, as part of the guys on Friday night, you know, we fell behind early and really needed to find a way to kind of scratch back. It took us a couple games last year before we actually were able to make a comeback, and just kept scratching away, one at a time. You see, we had the bases loaded, had a chance to do a couple more things there, but they do a good job of getting the 6-4 3-double play and getting out of it. But our guys just stayed relentless the whole night, just found a way to keep chipping away.
And defensively and on the mound, really settled in and just took control of this ball game, as they couldn't get anything going offensively after that 1 inning.
Yeah, you know, this was huge by Tate to come back and give us an inning. He did. He gave us a 6 after that inning, and you know, really allowed us to get back to the bullpen and have to go to bullpen early. And again, we get a guy at third base, less than 2 outs. Hoffman does a good job of driving him in, and we keep chipping away. You see the true freshman, Kate Grenier, right off the bat gets a comebacker. And you could tell he was handling his moment. The way he goes over there about his business, went straight to first and flipped. Did a fantastic job of handling everything we needed out of him.
Here's a good at bat. Walks in a run here. Has that tied the ball game?
You see here in the 9th inning, another big play for us. You know, we always talk about eliminate the big innings, and really had a chance to kind of do that there. We do a good job of getting the out, and we turn the double play ball.
What a way to end the game.
It is a huge play. Glad to see Taylor Swanner, after making the error, come back and make the double play to end the game.
Lions win, start the season 1-0. A very impressive performance on Friday night. Coach, big win to open the season. I put out on Twitter, you can't win them all if you don't win the first one. Start out 1-0 against Louisiana Tech, and this was a game where you actually fell behind and then came from behind and won right there in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, you know, proud of the guys. I thought all weekend we played fundamental baseball, but especially on Friday night, we played extremely well defensively. You know, anytime early in the year, you know, bats are kind of a little bit, it takes a little time to get going, but Tate Zeno going on Friday night, and then Kate Grande coming out of the bullpen, being a true freshman, handling the moment like he did. You saw the maturity of the ball club and how much those guys really, it doesn't matter about the age, it matters about how mature the individual is. And just so proud of them to be able to come back from on Friday night. You saw we chipped away there, 1 run in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, or 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and did a good job of just, you know, finding a way to win a ball game. I think we only had 4 hits. You know, sometimes it's going to happen on Friday night, but you got to find a way to win a ball game, and we did.
Tell me about your confidence in some of these young arms. I mean, you mentioned it, opening night at home, great atmosphere, a lot of pressure on the young man. Kate Grande comes in there and throws 3 scoreless innings and gets his first college victory.
Yeah, it was absolutely huge for us, and that was there late in the ball game again. We had Schwarner come in, who's another true freshman. He, you know, unfortunately kicks the first ball, but again, you see the maturity in the young man. He gets another ground ball to end the game with a double play, and just a testimony to the type of guys we brought in.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Game 2 highlights right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill.
Welcome to Buddy's Bar and Grill, located at 1236 South Morrison Boulevard in Hammond. Buddy's is home to great steaks, fresh seafood, and friendly service. Buddy's has been voted the best steakhouse and best restaurant in Tangipahoa Parish. With over 2,500 square feet and 3 large dining rooms, Buddy's can accommodate any party. Buddy's goal has always been to wow customers with their food and prices. Owner Scott Henderson and his family have always believed in giving customers good deals for their hard-earned money. Stop by Buddy's Bar and Grill for dinner and a drink. For more information on Buddy's, please visit buddyshammond.com.
Your eyesight is so important, and when it comes to your eye care, let the friendly staff at the Bond Roten Eye Clinic care for you. Doctors Hunter Bond and Chris Roten, along with their staff of trained doctors, are committed to providing every patient with quality care. The Bond Roten Eye Clinic has the latest medical technology and eye care to help you, the patient. With over 14 years of experience, the Bond Roten Eye Clinic has 3 locations to serve you, with offices in Denham Springs, Hammond, and Amite. So if it's a checkup, glasses, or LASIK surgery, you need to visit the Bond Roten Eye Clinic. For more information on the clinic, please visit bondroteneyeclinic.com. Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill. The Lions started the season 1-0 and would go back in action on Saturday in Game 2 against Louisiana Tech. Here's the highlights. All right, Coach, you come back out for Saturday looking to take the series against Louisiana Tech. A beautiful Saturday afternoon, perfect weather for opening weekend.
Yeah, and we got Jake Johnson on the mound, and like we talked about a little bit, just a phenomenal young man. Really set the tone early here, strikes out the side to open up the ball game and allowed our offense to kind of feel their way through it so they could get some runs later in the game. They started a left-hander, a little soft toss from, to be honest with you, he did a good job of kind of giving us fits early. Kept us off balance and did a good job of just pounding the strike zone. And you know, here they come back again, hit a double here and get the base knock. But Jacob Seward with a phenomenal throw here. Perfect one hop, just like you draw it up, throws the guy out the plate at the end of the inning, allowed us to stay in the ball game a little bit.
There's a big knock by Chris Eads. Had several big hits on the weekend. Junior college transfer, plays high school baseball at North Shore.
Yeah, and again, we had the bases loaded, nobody out. You know, like we talked about, it felt like it was the bases loaded all weekend, and still a little bit of that constipation we had going on. The guy strikes out the side to get out the inning, but we do a good job of going back and just staying with fundamental baseball, playing defense. Again, Chris Eads a nice play there, and then Jake getting out of the inning with the fly out there to service. Again, their lefty just kind of settled in nice and easy. Had us pound the ball. You see we just beating the ball on the ground left and right. Couldn't stay back to drive anything, so to speak.
So this was a really a low-scoring game early in the ball game, really a pitcher's duel.
Here's a big hit by their guy going down the line. Got a chance to get some guys on base, and you know, we had got out. We had bases loaded, nobody out. I come out for a mound visit, and I tell Jake, "Hey, look, they did it to us. Why can't we do it to them? And again, a huge part in the game. You know, we get the bunch out, and then we obviously hit by pitch, but we get one out with bases loaded. He finds a way to get out of it. He gets the 6-4 there, fielder's choice for 2 outs, and we actually return the favor. Sometimes you do it defensively, sometimes you throw the punch offensively.
Chris Eads gets it started with a knock to left field.
We draw another walk. Brooksy had a couple of big walks here for us. You know, with the bases loaded, did a good job of giving some good at-bats and fighting some pitches off and allowed us to get back on the board.
Guys did a nice job of having good quality at-bats, staying in the strike zone. Here's a shot through the shortstop, and this would allow you to score a few more runs.
Yeah, you know, good job again. We ran the bases well all weekend for him to avoid that tag there and really see the ball through. Did a good job, big knock there, and then kind of opened up the floodgates. Enjoyed the service, the big double in the gap, scored 2 more runs, and really allowed us to have the big inning that we needed there to kind of get things going. Nice play there by their third baseman as well. Their third baseman Paxton played a very good third base defensively all weekend. Kind of rattled the ball there, but you know, good job of Brooks Morris to staying with it, making a play there, and settling in nicely with a 5-0 lead. You know, to be honest with you, I got a little upset with the guys. I thought we got a little complacent from an offensive standpoint, but I tell you from the mound standpoint, Jake Johnson never let up. This is the only run of the game they scored, and to be honest, we maybe a little bit of a mental error there, throwing to the plate up 5 runs late in the ball game. But again, some things we need to work on and clean up. But overall, fantastic job by the guys of eliminating the big inning. Daniel Midyet.
He homers twice on the weekend, Coach. Once from the right side, once from the left side. As Midyet starts out the year with 2 bombs on opening weekend.
Yeah, you see Kevin Carr there with his helmet. Make sure he had a good tight grip, because I think Midyet was a little fired up from the first one on Friday night. Knocked the helmet all the way to the visitor's dugout. Get the fly out there.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Midyet didn't homer last year, did he?
Not
at all. So he already
at all.
hit 2 in opening weekend. And the Lions take game 2 of this one. An outstanding performance by Jake Johnson and the rest of the bullpen. Lions win, start the year out 2-0. Coach, big victory, 6-1 against Louisiana Tech. You take the series, so you already win your first 2 games of the year. You go 2-0. We saw a guy, Jake Johnson, in his debut here for Southeastern was absolutely tremendous on the mound.
Well, yeah, when we recruited Jake last fall and got him to sign an early signing period, we knew his stuff was special. But even more so, the young man is very special. He's a true competitor, and it goes back to, it's not only about the talent, but it's about the type of guy you get. And you saw that right off the bat. Wasn't afraid to go out there with his first debut in Division I. Went out there, struck out the first 4 batters of the game, settled in very nicely, and allowed our offense to get going there later.
So the Lions start out the year 2-0, and they would look for the sweep on Sunday, and they would get it, as Coach, you would knock off Louisiana Tech 7-1 on Sunday. Kyle Sedetall got the start on the mound. This is a veteran guy. We've seen him the last couple of years. Pitched more in the midweek, saw through on the weekend a little bit last year, but you decided to go with him on Sunday. Talk about that decision and talk about this win and sweeping the opening series of the year.
Yeah, you know, when you lost Sandro, people ask you replace that guy. I said, no, you don't go find him out there. You end up hopefully continue to build that, and we did with Teixeira. So we were able to move him in the Friday role, and obviously with losing Andro, we had to get another weekend starter. Kyle's done a phenomenal job all season with his workouts. He's gained 12 pounds, which has allowed him a little more on his fastball, more stuff, so to speak, and a little more endurance. And we've kind of converted a little more to pitching than he is on the offensive side of it, and the time and the work he's put in has paid off.
So the Lions start the season 3-0 with a sweep over the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs right there in Hammond. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to have more right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill. Your eyesight is so important, and when it comes to your eye care, let the friendly staff at the Bond Roten Eye Clinic care for you. Doctors Hunter Bond and Chris Roten, along with their staff of trained doctors, are committed to providing every patient with quality care. The Bond Roten Eye Clinic has the latest medical technology and eye care to help you, the patient. With over 14 years of experience, the Bond Roten Eye Clinic has 3 locations to serve you, with offices in Denham Springs, Hammond, and Amite. So if it's a checkup, glasses, or LASIK surgery, you need to visit the Bond Roten Eye Clinic. For more information on the clinic, please visit bondroteneyeclinic.com.
Lions Baseball is supported by Louisiana's First Choice Auto Auction, located in SLU's hometown, Hammond, Louisiana. Louisiana's First Choice Auto Auction is a dealer-only auction.
For more information on Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction or their upcoming charity golf tournament, please visit www.lafcaa.com or visit Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction on Facebook and Twitter. Welcome to Buddy's Bar and Grill, located at 1236 South Morrison Boulevard in Hammond. Buddy's is home to great steaks, fresh seafood, and friendly service. Buddy's has been voted the best steakhouse and best restaurant in Tangipahoa Parish. With over 2,500 square feet and 3 large dining rooms, Buddy's can accommodate any party. Buddy's goal has always been to wow customers with their food and prices. Owner Scott Henderson and his family have always believed in giving customers good deals for their hard-earned money. Stop by Buddy's Bar and Grill for dinner and a drink. For more information on Buddy's, please visit buddyshammond.com.
Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill right here in Hammond. A couple of weeks ago, it was Alumni Weekend at Southeastern, and a great turnout of former Lions made the trip. Let's check out the story.
It's great. I haven't been here in about 8 months, like you said, and haven't strapped on, haven't picked up a baseball in a while, so it's good to come back and see the boys and throw a little bit.
Man, it feels awesome. It's it's been a couple years since I've been back, and obviously what the team did last year, going to the regional, it's very good sense of pride for all of us guys who fought so hard to try to get there. We all feel like we were a part of that as well.
It's just really special. We spent 95% of our time maturing as young men, spending time together, learning how to grow up together. A lot of things we were taught about life were taught right here at this baseball field, and to be able to have people come back and see and talk to them about what they're doing and how their life is going, because it's really special to talk to those guys.
Yeah, it's my favorite time, obviously, getting the guys back in town. And we always talk about Lion family. This is what it's about. You see all the guys coming back and hugging and lying to each other, telling each other how great they were. But just to see what kind of young men they develop into, and some of them have their own families now, and to see them come back like this is special.
Yeah, it is. I mean, coming back and being able to play with the guys that I played with and the guys that actually came after me, it's good to meet the guys and actually play with them because they have the same aspect of the game, and they want to come out and play, and we'll all have fun today.
Oh, I mean, it's a blast to get to come out here and for the most part, I get to see a lot of guys I play with. We stay in contact, but to come out here and hit the baseball field again, you really can't ask for nothing better than that.
Oh, it's always fun to come back, man. The guys before me, the guys I play with, and even the guys after me that are now alumni, I always like to come back and get with the guys because, we like to think that we help build this program, and we're just kind of helping these guys kind of show them the way, and they're just kind of following our footsteps now. But it's always good to come see the guys back at Alumni Field.
The arm side of it, I haven't hit in 8 years, so we'll see if I can maybe barrel one up. But I hear we're facing a top guy right now, so I don't know if I'm gonna hit much but air.
It is. It's a lot of fun. These are guys. We went through a lot together. With our conditioning and everything that you do as a team. These guys are all like my brothers, and it's just awesome to be back.
I told Coach Reiser whenever I called them, after they won the regional, I wasn't able to, after they won the conference championship, wasn't able to be there to see it. But I called them and I said, you know what? I said, I know I wasn't on the team, but it sure as heck feels like I am. And we all laid some type of foundation for those guys last year to be able to get us over the top and win that championship.
I think it's more rewarding for guys like them, Brent Varnado and Wade Miley's that were here when we started it, because when we took it over 10 years ago now, it's hard to believe it's been that long. I don't think they realized what really went into developing it to get to this point. I'll tell you, those guys did a great job, some good kids. Chris Franklin and Stephen Lopez, I can go on and on about the guys that built this thing. But, have them back here and see them with the new players, so our current players see how important it is to come back.
It's going to be nice going, just hanging out with the guys and reconnecting with them. You haven't seen them in a few years, and it's good to go back and tell the stories of, the past, and it's good for Reiser to come out and, talk about his team this year and how they're going to do, and, hope all the best for them.
Oh, man, that's just knowing how they competed and when we were here at Southeastern and knowing how they are right now, and I still hang out with Vipe. So, we had a pretty good relationship we built while we were at Southeastern. It's just it's a blast to get to take the field with him again.
It's no better feeling. I was in AAA the week they were in the tournament, and I was before the game, I was sitting there on my phone watching the game with my headphones in, watching it. Everyone's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, this is the first time my school's, ever made it to a regional." I was actually watching the conference tournament and the regional, but I mean, yeah, it's always good. I mean, JRTs did a great job. We kind of laid the foundation, showed how it is to play line baseball, and these guys, I mean, they're following well in our footsteps, doing a really good job.
I thank God for technology because I got my little iPad, and I watch the games in the clubhouse that are streaming, so I'm always trying to keep up with them. Always shoot risers some texts every now and again. They're winning a lot of games. I leave them alone. I'm superstitious. So last year in the regional, after the tournament, I wanted to text him so bad. I was like, I can't do it. I just can't. I'll just wait and just see what happens. But yeah, I definitely try to keep up with him as much as possible.
Coach, I know Alumni Weekend is something that's very special. A lot of those guys come back. So many great players that's made Southeastern baseball what it is. They come back, and it's always great to see those guys.
It really is, and they get a chance to see those guys out there on the field again and kind of relive it. For some of them are still playing, professional baseball. And you had Brock Aber out there, Stefan Lopez, Wade Miley was out there as well. To see those guys out there and the energy they bring and provide, and show our guys really, what the program means to them as well. That it is a special place. We talk about all the time. It is Line for Life, and those guys are the exact example of what we want.
And you mentioned Wade Miley. I just want to give him a little congratulatory plug here, as he has just signed a big contract with the Boston Red Sox. So congratulations to Wade Miley, former Southeastern great. Wade Miley, also from the Ranger. All right, let's take a look at the games coming up now. Coach, this weekend it's a little different. You're not going to play the same team. You're going to go down and play a tournament down at Arlington and play 3 very good baseball teams.
Yeah, we really want to kind of set that regional atmosphere. And with the early season tournament with 4 teams, it kind of gives you that atmosphere a little bit. You see UTA Ball Club, who finished second in the Sun Belt last year, had a really good club, just missed out on regionals. The Michigan State Club that finished 3rd in the Big Ten last year. Another club that just missed out on regionals, both returning a lot. Expect to be regional opponents, NCAA tournament opponents at the end of the year. And also we have Houston Baptist, another conference opponent. Anytime you play a conference opponent, you know how it goes. And they do have a lot of guys back. Had a really good weekend last weekend. I think they outscored their opponent by almost 40 runs. So it should be a good weekend for us.
Then the following week, in the midweek on Wednesday, you're going to go down to Baton Rouge and take on LSU, the same place where you were in a regional a year ago. And based on that game and the way the matchup went whenever you played LSU in that regional, you're not sneaking up on those guys, and they're going to be ready. It ought to be a great atmosphere for college baseball, and 2 very good teams going at it.
You're right. I think the verdict's out on us. There's nobody we're going to sneak up on anymore. The target's out there for us, and we've built that reputation, the amount of respect we've built over the years. And yeah, again, first time in that stadium since last year in regionals, and we felt like we left a little bit out there on the field. So hopefully we'll go back out there and give them a good run again and see if we can't take one there.
Well, Coach, it's great to be back with you here on our program, as this show just kind of seemed to fly by, but it's going to be a very exciting year once again for Southeastern baseball, so you're going to want to tune in with us each and every week. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been the first episode here in 2015 of Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill. We'll see you next week.